welcome to our launching and docking on land lesson. So our objective today in this lesson is to know how to safely launch and dock a boat in light to medium wind. So when launching and docking a boat, there are some important things that you need to keep in mind. So you want to know where the wind is coming from at all times. Does anyone know why that might be?
So you can adjust your sails accordingly?
Yes, exactly. You want to know where irons is, and you want to know what is the fastest point of sail. Okay, you want to know where and what obstacles there are. So what kinds of obstacles might you find when you are launching or docking your boat? Yep, a buoy.
The dock.
The dock.
Rocks.
Rocks. What about the depth of the water, maybe? Like if there's shallow water, deep water,
Yes, so
other
shoals,
boats?
Shoals or swimmers.
Swimmers, yep, perfect. And you want to keep in mind that you should always listen to your instructor because you don't want to launch or dock when your instructor is trying to give you information and wants you to keep sailing. Okay, so when you are launching your boat from a beach, your boat will be on a dolly, so you'll bring your boat down with your, you'll have a skipper and crew, and you'll bring your boat down and you'll push your dolly into the water. And once the boat is floating and not touching the dolly, you'll take the dolly out and leave it on the beach. And you'll turn your boat away from the beach and in the direction you want to go. And that's when your crew will hop into the boat. At this time, while your boat is on the dolly, both your rudder and your when your boat is on the dolly, both your rudder and your centerboard should be up. Now, does anyone know why that is?
Well, you could break them otherwise.
Yes, and how might we break them?
Banging on the bottom, hitting a rock even that's in shallow water.
Yes.
Or as you got in, the weight of the boat.
Also, you need to get them off the dolly, so they've got to be out of the way. Otherwise, they're an obstruction to the dolly.
Yes, exactly. So, your crew will hop in the boat, the centerboard and the rudder will both be up, and your skipper will proceed to push the boat out while still holding onto the boat, and when it is deep enough, they will hop in and grab the tiller and the main sheet and point you in the right direction to catch the wind. When it is deep enough, you can then put down your centerboard and your rudder. Why do you have to wait? Like, why is it important to remember to put your centerboard down? What happens when you don't have your centerboard down?
Not as much stability.
Yep. What happens? Like if you are on the water and there's nothing holding you in place. Yes. And when you're in a tight area where you need to go in the right direction, that could lead to hazardous problems with hitting things.
You also need to get your rudder down, so you've got steering.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So, what do you think would be a difference if you are launching from a dock? So your boat is already in the water.
Well, you don't need to have the centerboard and the rudder up.
Yes. What about anything else?
You can all get into the boat at the same time.
So if the boat is tied onto the dock, and it's usually tied at one end, at the bow, with the painter, how do you think you would launch the boat?
Well, you get your crew in the boat. You'd hold the stay. Under the painter, hold the stay, point it in the right direction, give it a shove, and then just hop in.
Yes, exactly. So the skipper will be at the bow of the boat untying the painter and put it into the boat because you don't want that dragging. And then the skipper will, while holding the boat, walk to the back and hop in and grab the tiller and main sheet and point the boat away from the dock. Any questions?
What about making sure that when you're doing a beach launch with a dolly, you must make sure that you've got the painter. There's two people are going to be involved generally, right? And you slide into water, and the boat begins to float. You slide it off the dolly. Someone pulls the dolly away from you, and you step over it, but you're holding on to the boat. You're holding on to the painter.
Yeah.
And then using the painter, you can rotate turn the bow so it's pointing out the way you want to go. Rudder and centerboard up. Then as you said, you go through the process.
Exactly. Okay. So docking. So docking is a bit more difficult than launching. with docking, it's really important to know where the wind is coming from. So where the wind is coming from, what is that called? What is that point of sail called?
Up the wind?
Into the wind.
It has a name. It sounds like a metal.
A metal.
Irons.
Irons. Okay, irons. Oh yeah. When you're heading into the wind, right into the wind.
Yes.
The sails are flapping.
Yes.
And the irons.
Yes. So the sails are flapping. What is it called when your sails are flapping? You're facing into the wind. You're in
Luffing.
irons. Yes, luffing. Exactly. So when you're luffing, you're not moving anywhere, right?
Right.
You're just staying in one spot. Okay, so that's really important with docking. So with docking, we do something called the J approach. So you approach the dock, you are sailing to the dock perpendicular.
Mm-hmm.
You're perpendicular to the dock, and you come in and you turn up into the wind, letting out your sails, turning into the wind so you're in irons and you're luffing, so you can slowly slip in next to the dock. So once you do that, your crew will jump out, grab the painter, tie on the dock, and
So when you're coming in, when you turn into the wind, you're basically taking your foot off the accelerator.
yes,
Slowing right down, and then the crew hops out, holds onto the stay,
yes,
grabs the painter, ties up.
yeah.
What if the wind is coming straight towards you? Like you're saying you go perpendicular, but if the wind is coming perpendicular to the dock, what do you then? You're heading into the wind to go perpendicular to the dock. That wouldn't work then.
We're going to do some docking scenarios depending on where the wind is coming from. So originally, the wind is coming from here. So our boat will come across perpendicular to the dock and turn up into irons and slip in next to the dock. And that's when the crew will jump out. So can anyone come up and show us what we need to do if the wind is coming from here?
So I think based on what you've told me,
Mm-hmm.
I would be coming in perpendicular to the dock,
Mm-hmm.
and then I would have to turn up into the wind like that.
Yes, exactly.
Oops, sorry.
But is that, the important thing to remember is that so let the sheets out.
Yes,
Let the
yes.
sails fly.
yes.
And
And you don't want to be coming in perpendicular to the dock full powered, of course, because then you could lose control at the last minute. Just
And have a crash.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so if the wind is coming from here, would you like to give this a try?
well, I think I would.
You can go any part of the dock.
I would go. So I'm coming in. I'm coming in here. I'm going to try more on the end there because I think that's a safe place to do it. So I'd come in like this, and then I'm going to be turning up into the wind. I'm letting my sheets out like that, and I plop it right there.
Exactly. Perfect.
The sails are flapping. My crew hops out, grabs the painter and the stay, and then we moor, or we back the boat round and moor it there. But that's
Yes.
where I'd come in.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So, would you do anything differently if you were to land on the beach? So instead of docking on the dock, if you're coming straight into the beach, like as if you launched from the beach, your dolly's here, so you want to put your boat back on the dolly, would you do anything differently?
Well, you'd have to pull up the centerboard before you got too shallow.
Yeah, yeah,
And the road.
yes. Would you still do the J approach?
I don't know. I guess it would help you slow down somewhat.
If it's a sandy beach,
It wouldn't be so.
You don't want your boat to touch the beach, though.
you don't want to have to be.
You don't want it to touch the beach.
Okay, all right.
Then I guess you do the J approach and jump out in shallow water and hold it still when you've let out the sails.
Yes, yeah. Great. So you would come in, so let's say the wind again is coming from here. Most likely you'll be coming downwind to the beach because you can't control it very easily. And so what I would do is I would turn all the way up like this. And most likely it's shallow enough your crew can hop out.
Hop over the transom.
Your sails are luffing, and then you can drop the main depending how heavy the wind is and turn it back onto the dolly and pull it out. Good? Any questions?
Well, when I sailed Hobie Cat, we just, on a sandy beach, we just powered it in.
Yes, yes. With Hobie Cats, you can sail straight up onto the beach.
We jump off the trampoline.
But with 420s, opties, and lasers, most likely you're going to want to put it onto your dolly. You're not going to want it to touch the beach and ruin the finish. Okay, so let's quickly do a quiz about launching and docking. Okay, so what are some important things you need to keep in mind when you are launching or docking your boat? Yes.
Where the wind is coming from.
Yes, exactly. Anything else?
Instructions.
Yes. The last one?
Making sure your centerboard.
Depth of water.
Sorry. Okay, depth of water. I was thinking centerboard.
Up or down.
Yes. Yep. What about? Do you need to listen to anyone? Do you need to wait?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Listen to your coach.
Yes.
Listen to your coach. Make sure your paint is firmly attached to the full stay.
Yes. And do you want your painter flapping in the water beside you?
It's going to be neat for out of when you're moving, when you're underway. It should be not flapping around the water. It should be tucked inside the boat.
Exactly. And who generally is in the boat first? Who gets in the boat first?
The crew.
The crew. And who usually gets out of the boat first?
The crew.
Exactly. So first in, first out.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to describe how to do a proper J approach?
You come in perpendicular to the dock, then you turn into the wind and loosen your sails.
Yes, exactly. Good job.
And what you're doing there
Is what?
What you're doing there is basically taking your foot off the accelerator and slowing the boat right down.
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
No, I think it's good in theory. I guess we might need to have to practice it on the water.
Yes, and that's what we will do. Okay, so thank you for coming to my launching and docking lesson, and have a good day.